Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? I just want to do a video that's kind of on music theory, but it's kind of fun and light-hearted. But I've never talked about this exact type of music theory on my video, so let's do this. I'll talk about music theory for a second. Intervals. If you start, the interesting thing is that a unison isn't even a different note, yet it's still already got an interval of 1. A unison is like a one-th. So a seventh would be a 7 because that's the 7th. But if you add 1 to 7th, you have an octave. Remember that. But if you have 7, you have a 7th. So if I have a 7th, that's 7, and I add a 1, that's 8, that's an octave, and then I add 7, I have a 15th, which is a double octave. Interestingly, though, if I start with 7, if I have a 7th, I have a 7th. But as we said, if you go up 7, you have the same interval an octave higher. So like a second plus 7 is 9, so second and ninth are the same interval, just an octave difference. So adding 7 always keeps the interval basically the same. It just raises or lowers it by an octave. So a third plus 7 is 10th. So a 10th is is an octave plus a third, or a third above an octave. A fourth, 4 plus 7 is 11. So an 11th is an octave in 11th, or an 11th up an octave. A fifth is 5, and plus 7 is 12. So a 12th would be an octave above the 5th. And a sixth is 6, plus 7 is 13th. So a 13th is a sixth and an octave, or an octave above the 6th. So therefore in chords, 1, 3, 5, 7, 7 is your 7th. Then you have 9. That's an octave above second, because 2 and 7 make 9. Then you have an 11th. That's an octave above the 4th, because 7 and 4 make 11. And then a 13th is an octave above a 6th, because 6 and 7 make 13. So it's interesting to me also, there's a little rule here. If you start with 7 and you add 7, if 7th is a 7th, but adding 7th makes only an octave higher than that. So therefore 7 plus 7 is 14. So 14 is an octave plus a 7th. That means that the double octave is 14 plus 1, or 15. And again, for a single octave, 7 and 1 make 8, and that's a single octave. And then 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 makes 15, which is the double octaves. So it sounds like anytime you have a multiple of 7 and add 1 to it, you have a number of 1 or more octaves. So 7 times 3 is 21. That would be 2 octaves plus a 7th. Add 1 to that, you have a 22nd. Therefore, 22nd is a triple octave, because 7 times 3 is 21, add 1 is 22nd, which is a triple octave. 7 times 2 is 14, add 1, that's 15, that's a double octave. 7 is plus 1 is 8, that's a single octave. So 4 octaves would be, first 7 times 4 is 28, so add 1, 29, 4 octaves would be a 29th. So if you started at the lowest note on a guitar, which is a low E, and go to the highest E on the 24th fret of the high E string, that would be 4 octaves, that would actually be a 29th interval. If you go from the lowest E on a guitar to the 12th fret of the high E string, that would be another E, but that would be a 22nd. That would be a triple octave. If you go from the low E on the open 6th string to the high open 1st string, that would be a 15th, which is a double octave, and so forth. From the open 1st string to the 24th fret of the 1st string would also be a 15th, because that's a double octave. And you have 2 octaves is 24 frets, and on a 24 fret guitar you can have 2 octaves on 1 string. So I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.